My name is Julie Bennett, mother of three, one who's already been through this public school system, one who is unfortunately still in it, and one who is homeschooled because I refuse to give you access to pollute his young mind. I have distributed pictures in front of you that show, in a graphic novel style, blatant obscenity, including oral sex and masturbation. You won't find the difference between these pictures, except that some of them you've made available to our children in school media centers in a book titled Genderqueer, and the others were taken from a pornographic adult website. Virginia Beach Circuit Court recently declared this novel to be too obscene for unrestricted viewing by minors. If an adult walked up and handed my 14-year-old images like this, it would be outrageously inappropriate, even criminal. Yet you are knowingly exposing our children to illicit, obscene material. Just because a book is titled as inclusive or labeled as inclusive does not make it appropriate for children as young as 14. This is not about homophobia or transphobia. This is about the sexualization of our children at the hands of this school system. Policy 1020 describes sexual harassment to include visual harassment, such as derogatory cartoons or drawings. For reference, that's what you have in front of you that I handed out. This is a blatant contradiction and disregard to your own policy. Policy 8040 prohibits videos rated R from being shown in classes. Sexually oriented nudity is considered rated R according to the MPAA. So your own policy prohibits these images to be shown in the classroom, but yet makes it accessible in the media center. That's absurd. Policy 8080 states that HCPSS uses technology to filter out obscene, offensive, sexually explicit, pornographic material to minors. Why even bother to waste money on technology like this when you've made it readily available? According to the American Bar Association, behaviors that sexual predators use during the grooming process include discussing sexually explicit information under the guise of education and showing a child sexually explicit images. Our own health ed curriculum teaches kids to identify sexual grooming and harassment behaviors and to analyze law and policies that protect them from these things. It is appalling that this school system is doing the very things they're warning their students against. Talk about an abuse of power. In health classes and media content, our children are exposed to every sexual scenario possible. You have created the perfect storm for a sexual predator to groom their victim under the guise of education and under the protection of this board. This school system is obsessed with the over-sexualization of our children, and parents are fed up. It is past time for this board to act to make the protection of our children a top priority and remove this filth from our schools. Thank you.
Next speaker is Erin Yingling.
I'm Erin Yingling, and I have two boys in the HCPSS. I'm sickened over what you allow on the shelves in the media centers. Here's two entries from the book titled This Book is Gay. Blowies. Oral sex is popping a dude's penis in your mouth, and indeed popping yours into his. When it comes to blowjobs, watch the teeth. Lips and tongues, yes. Teeth, no. Slide your mouth up and down the shaft of his cock. The clitoris really likes to be licked and kissed. Two women can perform it at the same time.
Ms., I'm sorry.
Reading a book.
Yes, she's reading the book.
Who said sorry?
There's no underage children in this room.
Okay. The clitoris likes to be licked and kissed. The two
It's a
women
public
can perform
meeting. I mean,
This is what you have in a public school.
Yeah, where our kids go to school.
This could be a heterosexual couple, and it would still be wrong to have it in the schools. And it's an obscene, sexually explicit book that directly goes against Policy 8040, Selection of Instructional Materials, which states the HCPSS standard selection criteria will be designated age and grade appropriate. High school freshmen are only 14 years old. It's not your job to provide an obscene sex how-to book on the shelves at school. Another book, Lawn Boy, contains details of two fourth-grade boys sexually pleasuring each other. It reads, they're not normal. Mexicans? No, fags. What's normal then, Nick? Your porn habit? Like you don't watch porn. What if I told you I touched another guy's dick and I sucked it? Well, I'd say you were a fag. I was 10 years old, but it's true. I put Doug Goebel's dick in my mouth. What the fuck are you talking about? I was in 4th grade. It was no big deal. He sucked mine too, and you know what? It wasn't terrible. Maryland State Board of Education does not include sexual education in 4th grade, so regardless of sexual orientation, sexual activity is inappropriate at this age, yet this book normalizes it. A high schooler may see these acts as normal. The scenes depicted in this book are obscene and violate state and federal obscenity laws. Maryland Code Criminal Law, Title 11 states a person may not exhibit, distribute, or offer to distribute any obscene matter or possess any obscene matter. Offenses include imprisonment, fines, or both. Policy 8040 4B states HCPSS will maintain a system-wide selection of criteria that aligns with the national, state standards and law. Your media selection committee is apparently unaware of these requirements and consequences. The word fuck is in the book over 100 times, along with many other vulgar, non-politically correct hate words. HCPSS policy 92104G states prohibited attire includes attire that depicts profanity, hate speech, obscenity, or contains sexually suggestive messages. You have put the policy into prohibit offensive attire, yet you have provided it on the shelves in the library. Dr. Matriano, Policy 8040, Part 5. The superintendent will oversee the selection of instructional materials that align with the vision and goals of HCPSS and will annually provide recommended revisions of their media purchasing list to the board for approval. It is obvious a revision of the media source list is needed unless the vision of the goals of HCPSS are to provide obscene matter to our children. You are responsible for the safety and protection of our children. Do the right thing and get these books removed for good from HCPSS libraries.
Thank you. Allison Frell.